Hi, did you fail the recent ACCA exams and now confuse what you should do? Because I understand that when the results come out, students are happy about passing the exams or upset about failing the exams, but most importantly are confused what do you do next, right? So in our today's video, we're going to go over strategy on what you should do if you have an unsuccessful ACCA attempt. But before we do that, like always, thank you so much for all your love, all your comments, all your feedback. I truly appreciate it. If this is the first time you've come to my channel, can I request you to please hit the like button, the subscribe and the bell icon. I promise you I only will do videos that will help you in your overall ACCA journey as well as your finance and accounting career. Now, coming back to, let's say if you have failed a skill level exam and you got, let's say, so you failed, let's say, an audit paper and you scored, let's say, around 45 marks, all right? Now, it is important to understand that ACCA exams are tough, therefore you will fail, right? Failing is not something that, oh, it's only happened to you, no one else is failing, right? If you look at the global pass rates, it is anywhere between 40 and 50%, right? So people are failing. So please understand that. Now, once you have come to terms that you have failed, now what do you do is that basis your marks, you decide whether you resit the exam or you actually move to another paper which you may have already started studying, right? So let's say in the case of audit, now if you've scored already 45 marks, right, it's a very good marks if you ask me. Look, I teach audit at FP, and I can tell you 45 marks is a very good marks, right? Of course you fail, but 45 is still a very decent marks. Now, because you were this close to the passing marks, right, I would suggest very strongly to resit the exam, right? Because it's a skill level, you can look at the my exam performance report and you can figure out where you've lost marks, work on those areas, practice the practice whatever weak syllabus areas you have, and then resit the exam and get done with it, right? Because you were only a few marks shy. And I would give this suggestion to anyone who scored anywhere between 35 to 49 marks, because that tells me, now again, this is purely my experience of having taught so many students ACCA over the last 10-11 years, right? This is what I've seen, that if you scored anywhere between 35 to 49, you resit the exam, most likely you will be able to crack the paper, as long as you've figured out where those weak areas are and you've practiced, and you will be able to crack the exam, right? So that's when you are anywhere between 35 to 49 marks. But let's say you did not score decent marks, right? There are sometimes students who were not, who did not study well, or sometimes they just did not find the subject that that intuitive. Let's say in audit itself you scored 20 marks or 25 marks or 30 marks, right? For me, if you're getting 25-30 marks, it tells me that your concepts are not there yet. You probably shouldn't have given the exam, right? It does require you to work on your concepts as well as practicing more, right? In such cases, what you do is that, let's say you're already studying a tax paper, right? And or maybe an FR paper, or maybe an FM paper, whatever that other paper is, right? Here you have two options. Either you can resit the exam and study the whole thing like you would have studied the first time around, or you can also move to the next paper, because like I said, you now have to, now both the papers for you are the same. Because getting 25-30 marks honestly is not something which you can say that yes, I know the subject pretty well, right? You will have to go through the whole content really well once again. So either you go ahead with the paper you failed, which is audit in this case, or you sit the new paper, which is, let's say, FR on FM, right? So that is what I would suggest for anyone who scored less than 35 marks. Now there is also a confusion that, sir, can we sit for two papers anyone who's been following me knows that I'm not a big fan of two papers, right? Because the reason why ACCA's pass rates are high is because of your flexibility of giving one paper, right? So therefore, I would urge you to stick to that one paper. But let's say, like in the case of in the previous one where you scored 45 in audit, right? And you know that had you worked on, let's say, risks better or procedures better or any of these areas better, or you had practiced some section A questions better, you would have been able to crack the exam. Because you already know which areas you want to get better at, and the gap is very small. In such cases, I can still suggest you sit two papers, right? But again, the efforts are going to be high. But yes, I've seen it in past that students who were this close, and when they sat for two papers, they were able to crack the exams, right? So look, now you have got three possible solutions. You can either do one paper, resit it again, either you can do the same paper, or also look at another paper that you're already studying for because you did not score well, or you can do two papers, right? But it all depends upon your number of marks first of all, and how much time do you have available to devote, because two papers would mean that you'll have to devote a lot of time, right? So look, I don't want to make this a super long video. This is a thumb rule that I use with my students at FPA, right? Because while our pass rates, touch wood, thank God, is very, very good, and I can assure you, you can talk to our students, you can watch our students posting tons of reviews on LinkedIn, not just Google, but on LinkedIn you can see them posting all the good things about FPA, right? So our students pass probably double the global averages, right? But the point is that they still fail. So my thumb rule is the same as what I've told you guys, right? So do not get too confused, do not get bogged down, demotivated that, oh my god, I don't think so ACCA is for me. Is because look, if ACCA was so simple that anyone sitting the exam can crack the exam at the first go, then wouldn't it become the same as your degree, right? So therefore, you have chosen this program because it is very good, it is rigorous. Therefore, please bear with it. I promise you, once you're in ACCA, you will find so much more in your career, and I assure you, you will do super well, right? So on that note, all the very best. If you still need any help, please feel free to reach out to me. You can drop me a comment, and do share this with someone who's still probably sulking over not passing the exams, right? All the very best, and thank you so much. Bye bye.